I grew up in a war zone, and I don't mean that there were bombs going off, and I don't mean that I was, being physically threatened by war. But what I mean is that I grew up in a place where there was anger and violence and drugs and alcohol and abuse, and lots of people who were living on the edge of life, that were doing anything they could to stay alive, to keep their head above water. But more so than that, I also grew up surrounded by people who saw violence and pain and power as a good thing. They saw it as something that they could use over people, that they could hold above people. I saw people use their physicality as a threat to hold people down. And the strange thing about that was I saw that, and that behavior is so looked down upon and frowned upon by society in general. But then I realized as I became an adult that our systems do the same thing. I spent a lot of time in hospital. I've had over 150 psychiatric admissions. And I saw the doctors and the nurses and the staff and on public wards doing the same thing. I saw them intimidating. I saw them pushing people down. I saw them controlling people. I saw violence. I saw pain. I saw horror. I even saw death. And I definitely saw abuse. And so what happened was that these systems, they were recreating trauma, and they were becoming the new abusers. That's kind of how I saw them, as, you're not here to help me. You're my new abuser. Your government funded abuse. The whole point of me being here was to get away from that. And I realized that I couldn't look for help there. That they weren't, educated enough to help me. I had to help me, because I'm the only one who knew me, and I'm the only one who really knew what lives inside of this person. And so I decided that I was done with them, and I was done with their games, and I was done with giving them my power and giving them my trust and asking them to help me. And I decided that I'd help myself. And so I changed. I became somebody different. I became someone who was kind and who was gentle and who was loving and passionate, and someone that you could feel safe with and not feel afraid of. And I realized in that moment that I had told my new abusers and my old abusers that they weren't going to get to decide who I was anymore.